Well, hello, hello, hello. Happy Memorial Day, everyone. My name is Rashada Dawan, and I will be virtually reading to you from Chicago, Illinois. I hope that you all are having a great day today, or you had a great day, and it's time to unwind to a really, really good book, or a couple of good books, because I'll be reading two. So, the first book that I am going to read to you is entitled Not Quite Snow White by Ashley Franklin and Ebony Glenn. I hope my glare is okay. If not, I'll try to do my best to make sure you can see the pictures. All right? Not quite Snow White. For Tamika, it was always the right time and place to dance and sing. Tamika had a hip rolling dance, a swayful sad dance, a stomping nod dance, and a hair flicking just because she felt fabulous dance. Anybody ever felt like that before? I know I have. All right. Here's Tamika here doing her dance outside with her friends. She sang high with the tweeting birds and low with the croaking frogs. She always shared her love of music and movement with an audience, stuffed or unstuffed. Tamika loved the stage. It was her perfect place. She was the star of every show, and she loved every show that she starred in. She had been a cucumber, a space cowgirl, a dinosaur, and her favorite part, a singing mermaid. On stage, Tamika felt like she could be anything or anyone she wanted to be. But she had never been a princess. Now she was finally ready to have her chance. It's like she was going to audition for Snow White at her school. Tamika was so excited that she went both days of auditions. She went to both days of the auditions for the Snow White musical. On the first day, she arrived super early. She helped friends with their lines, kept count for dancers, and shooed butterflies from nervous tummies so songs could be sung. Sounds like me. After the audition, Tamika heard some of the other kids whispering, "She can't be Snow White. She's too tall. She's much too chubby. And she's too brown." See him talking about her? Mm, mm, mm. Anybody ever experienced anything like that? Tamika looked at her legs. They were too long. Maybe the kids were right. A princess shouldn't be taller than her prince, should she? She looked at her belly. Maybe what the kids said was true. She could not remember any chubby princesses. Tamika looked at her brown skin. How could a girl with brown skin play a princess like Snow White? Hmm. Could those kids be wrong? Maybe she was wrong for wanting to be a princess. She looks so sad. Tamika slouched and sucked in her belly. She tried pulling down her sleeves, but there was no way around being brown. See all the other school kids on the school bus? For the first time, she didn't feel like singing or dancing. No. At dinner, Tamika didn't tap her feet or clang rhythms with her spoon. Nope. She's looking pretty sad Mom and Dad noticing something's not right. Is something wrong? Asked her mom. The other kids said I'm too tall, too chubby, and too brown. I'm not right for Snow White, said Tamika. You've got it all wrong, Mom said. You are tall enough, chubby enough, and brown enough to be a perfect princess. Mom's no. Besides, said her dad, Snow White is just pretend. You've always been my real princess. See, daddies know too. You're just enough of all the right stuff. He kissed her forehead. Tamika smiled. Maybe her parents were on to something. Mm-hmm. Let's see. At the audition the next day, Tamika watched all the other kids get on stage and do their best. It's a lot of young people auditioning. Look at that. Oh, yeah. Look at her. She laying into it, ain't she? It was Tamika's turn at last. She remembered what her parents had said, but her long legs were still a little jittery. She closed her eyes and imagined she was singing and dancing for her favorite audience of friends, stuffed and unstuffed. She was a little nervous, right? Then she remembered the joy she felt when performing. Tamika knew she could do it. Oh, yeah, girl. She got out there, strut her stuff. And she did. She shone like the star she was. She could act, she could dance, she could sing. She loved herself as much as she loved music and movement. Look at her getting out there showing out. Go on, girl. I wonder what song she sang. Tamika was a perfectly poised princess. And when her audition was over, Tamika looked out to smiling faces. Tamika wasn't too much of anything. Look at her. She was just the right amount. Get that? Yeah. Everyone standing up, applauding her for being herself. Maybe she was just enough of all the right stuff. See that? The end. Not quite Snow White. You know, sometimes those same people that'll tell us that we're not enough, or maybe we're too much of something, sometimes those are the ones in the audience applauding or being on the side of us too. Don't listen to those people. Listen to yourself and your parents, right? All right, I'm going to introduce another book to you. This is one of me and my daughter's favorite books. Let me get it for you. The name of this book that I love so much is called The Rabbit Listened by Corey Dorfeld. The Rabbit Listened. One day, Taylor decided to build something. Can you see? Something new, something special. Look at his face, determined, right? Something amazing. Woo! Taylor was so proud. Whoa, look at that. But then, out of nowhere, oh no, oh no, what happened? Things came crashing down. Look at all of those pieces. So sad. Oh no. The chicken was the first to notice. Whoop. shouted, "Cluck, cluck." That's what the chicken did. But Taylor didn't feel like talking. So the chicken left. Chicken looked mad. Even nobody listening to him, huh? Next came the bear. Mm. Mm-hmm. Taking inventory of things. Roar, roar, roar. How horrible. I bet you feel so angry. Let's shout about it. Roar, roar, roar. But Taylor didn't feel like shouting. So the bear left. The bear looked mad too. The elephant knew just what to do. Trump da da dum! I can fix this. We just need to remember exactly the way things were. But Taylor didn't feel like remembering. So the elephant left. Don't look like that's the sound he's making. One by one they came. The hyena. Let's laugh about it. The ostrich. Let's hide and pretend nothing happened. That's what the ostrich did. The kangaroo. Tisk, tisk. What a mess. Let's throw it all away. And the snake. Let's go down. Go knock someone else's down. Look, just, ain't that dirty? That old conniving snake. But Taylor didn't feel like doing anything with anybody. So eventually, they all left. See that? All left until Taylor was alone. See, sometimes you gotta quiet down the noise when you need to really focus on what it is that you need. In the quiet, Taylor didn't even notice the rabbit. But it moved closer and closer until Taylor could feel its warm body. See, the rabbit was waiting in the cut. Wonder what the rabbit does. Let's see. Together, they sat in silence until Taylor said, "Please stay with me." The rabbit listened. The rabbit listened as Taylor talked. The rabbit listened as Taylor shouted. Apparently, Taylor had a lot of feelings about what went down, huh? And I guess that rabbit had a lot of time on his hands. The rabbit listened as Taylor remembered and laughed. The rabbit listened to Taylor's plans to hide, to throw everything away, and to ruin things for somebody else. Taylor had a lot of ideas. See. Through it all, the rabbit never left. And when it was the right time, the rabbit listened to Taylor's plan to build again. "I can't wait," Taylor said. See, sometimes after you get your emotions out, the ideas that you need to follow really come. And you know what Taylor did next? It's going to be amazing. See? This book, the end. I like this book so much because sometimes it tells us what we go through when so many things are happening and all of our loved ones have all of the advice that they want to give us. And sometimes it takes us being alone and then maybe being with someone. It says, I need to check some of these out for my littles. Yeah, the rabbit listened. It takes sometimes to be quiet and then hopefully our loved ones will listen to us. And then we get to express all those emotions and just let them all out. And once those emotions are over, we're able to build again. I think that's the point of The Rabbit Listened. So the two stories that we read this evening, The Rabbit Listened by Corey Dorfield and Not Quite Snow White by Ashley Franklin and Ebony Glenn. Thank you all so very much. I hope you enjoyed this reading time, virtual bedtime stories with me. And I hope that you all have a wonderful evening. Sleep tight and enjoy. Good night.